No, both Drew and I, the whole building trusts Kyler to make those plays, and that's what we talked about today. Like, we got to make sure that we keep the ball in the quarterback's hands, and you can do that a lot of different ways. But we got to make sure we have the ball in the quarterback's hands with a chance for him to impact the game.
Jonathan Gannon with Burns and Gambo yesterday. When asked if you trust Kyler to put the game away, make those plays when the game is on the line. We're going to circle back to that in a second after we shout out our listeners in Guadalupe this morning. Yes, thanks to all of our listeners out in the great town of Guadalupe. Do you trust your team? Do you trust your quarterback to help your team put a game away? Certainly a valid question. And I want to tip my cap. I thought Burns and Gambo did a great job of asking a lot of questions to Jonathan Gannon yesterday that necessarily didn't come up in the media session, but certainly questions that the fans wanted answered. So I thought that was a really, really good interview. And I thought Jonathan Gannon handled the interview well as well.
I agree with all that.
On the subject of trusting the quarterback, this falls under the we gotta umbrella again. You heard him say it. We gotta call better plays to trust our quarterback, to entrust our quarterback to put those away. That one wears thin. The we gotta philosophy wears thin after a while.
Listen,
either you're doing it or you're not doing
it. And the fact that Marvin Harrison Jr., that they still have not found a way to feature him, to use his gifts, to get him to be a huge part of that offense, somebody's got to answer for that. I pointed out the play that you diagnosed, that big gain to Marvin Harrison Jr., where we all applauded his ability to go up and get that ball in traffic again. It seemed like a continuation of the way he looked at the end of the Seattle game. But if you look at that in replay, he should have been the primary read. He's one-on-one with a bad cornerback on the edge. And generally, a quarterback in year 7, you see your star receiver in one-on-one coverage, you know where you're going with the football. And as Teo pointed out, he went through 2 different progressions before he got to Marvin Harrison Jr., who had to go up and make a play in traffic when it should have been a walk-in touchdown. This is the kind of stuff that I can see why a coaching staff could lose confidence in your quarterback, because you don't know what he's going to do with the football.
But I'm not Kurt Warner on this subject. I'm not exactly sure how progressions work. Is that play designed to go short first? And maybe you're going through those short progressions first to see what's available over the middle. That seems to be in tune with the way this Cardinals offense has operated to this point. And then, what's open down the field? Maybe it happened a little bit later than it should have.
But it would seem to me,
that was one of the positive plays of the game.
But it would seem to me that if you're processing the game before you get the football in your hands, that's a light bulb is going to go on. Oh, it looks like Marv is going to have single coverage out there. I think I'm going to get the ball to him right away. Isn't that? I mean, that's the schematics of most quarterbacks, right? Even if you've got a play called that you're supposed to look here, then there, and then last resort, you go here. You see your star player in single coverage, that changes everything. At least it should. And again, I'm not trying to fully bash on Kyler because he's been good this season, but not good enough. And there are the moments where if you were a play caller, I think you could see where the timidity comes from.
But as a play caller, specifically on that 3rd and 8, which if you have James Conner or even Trey Benson, or your offensive line has proven they've been dominant in the game, then okay, 3rd and 8, James Conner, good O-line. You can try to run the football to see if you can't get 8 yards, but none of that was true. And to me, I kind of mentioned it yesterday, taking the ball out of Kyler Murray's hands, it doesn't only take the ball out of his hands, it takes it out of Trey McBride's and Marv's.
Yes.
And you're giving it to, and we respect Michael Carter on the show, but that's a tall ask for him to get a gutty 8 yards with the game on the line.
What percentage of Cardinals runs this year have ended in an 8-yard gain? I mean, they had a couple in that game. I mean, Knight had a 10-yarder. They had a 71-yarder that didn't count, turned into a fumble. But by and large, 8 yards is on a 3rd down.
Yeah.
And especially when you don't get the look you want.
Yes.
And there have been countless issues with this offense where if you watch a play, Kyler Murray is bailing on the pocket too soon before the route is about to break open. And when it does break open, the quarterback's gone. And so, and again, this is not absolving the offensive line. They allowed a ton of pressures against Kyler Murray against a Tennessee defense that didn't blitz all that much.
It's just what's the worst case scenario? Because a turnover could happen on the handoff as well. So you take away a turnover, what's the worst case scenario? An incomplete pass probably doesn't do anything at that point because the 2-minute warning is going to hit anyway.
Yeah.
And a sack, you're going to punt the ball anyway. I just don't get it.
Worst case scenario on a pass play there would be a sack, turnover, or an interception with a return, which probably would have worked out better for the Cardinals because it would have shortened the field and given them time left after instead of suffering another walk-off loss. Honestly, it was a horrible decision to run the football there.
It really, really was. And again, the thing for me is, okay, if the fact that you were going to run the ball regardless, and then you decided to stick with it when you didn't even get the look you want.
Yeah.
In that situation, that to me, that's a red flag. Mm-hmm. That's an operational red flag because calling a running play there on 3rd and 8 on a play that is going to either give the Titans the ball or win the game for you, you better make sure that you're going to get exactly the look that you want because running the ball in that situation, very, very conservative. So if you don't get a soft defense, a defense that's expecting you to pass the ball, you got to get out of that play.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and don't you want to see, like, this is year 7 of Kyler Murray. We've talked ad nauseum. It's year 3 in this system. Don't you want to see if he can win you a football game?
Of course. Yes, you do.
Like, on the flip side, the Tennessee Titans, you saw from Cam Ward, granted, they had to trust him. There was no choice but to throw the ball down the field and after we had punted. But they gave him the ability to.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it doesn't matter what quarterback you have under center, you want to see if your QB, especially, quote, a franchise one, can win you a football game where literally nothing had gone right in the second half.
Go back to Sunday the press conference's post-game. Kyler Murray was asked, were you frustrated with the final offensive drive?
Just trust the play call.
He sounds frustrated.
So I think everybody was in agreement that it was a terrible play call. And nobody could step up and say, you know what? What are we doing here?
What are we doing here?
Yeah.
I know. It's a great point.
And by the way, I don't know if Kyler Murray's just programmed to say that, being the good teammate or being respectful of his coaches. But if I'm Kyler Murray, and this might sound diva as hell, and I brought this up yesterday, I am pissed that they called that play in that situation. And
you're paying a guy a lot of money to man that position, and you're doing it. Go ahead, I'm sorry.
He was marginalized with the foot injury, and that came up after the game, too. It was kind of a weird circumstance, but he's still out there.
Uh-huh.
And what inspires your team more? Hey, that guy's less than 100%. Did you see that play he made?
Yeah.
Did you see that throw he made on 3rd and 8 that clinched this thing for us?
So we got an offense now here in Arizona, 23rd in points per game, 27th in yards per play, 30th in yards per pass play, 31st in rushing success rate.
And I'll remind you that they've played the Panthers, the Saints, and the Titans this year.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Thanks for watching Bickley and Marotta. Click to see the latest Bickley Blast and hit the button in the middle to subscribe to Arizona Sports.